Hello, I'm Steve Hemmon, Interim Superintendent of Schools for the Narragansett Regional School District. As many of you know, the town of Templeton is proposing to build a new elementary school, replacing the current Templeton Center School and the Baldwinville Elementary School. The site for this new school is Templeton Center, which is being built to house 580 students, grades pre-K to 5. In order for residents to clearly understand the proposed school, we will be answering many of the questions that citizens have asked us at our forums that we've conducted these past several months. With us is Joe Seeley from SMMA, our architect, and John Winokur, our Honors Project Manager, OPM, from College International. The question I have for John is why the Templeton Center site?
Thanks, Steve. That's a great question, and I've been involved with a lot of school building projects, and I can promise you this. This has been the most exhaustive search for the site for a new school that I've ever participated in. We have, just in terms of a high-level overview, we have had one private donation of property offered to us that's been evaluated. We've had a public donation of property that's been evaluated to us. We've gone through 3 public requests for proposals or formal land searches where we've evaluated 9 different parcels that were brought forward to the building committee and the team to evaluate, as well as looking at countless other opportunities and parcels out there to bring us ultimately to what we felt was the most viable, both economically and in terms of development for the community, which is the site of the existing Templeton Center School. So why don't I go through a brief timeline and hit some of the highlights of how we got here. We've got some graphics that we can see that go back to 2007 when the formal process started. And at this point in time, the Massachusetts School Building Authority, or MSBA, opened up its process for districts to apply for grants under the new regulations. Templeton was fortunate enough to be selected back in 2007 and move forward with that process. And frankly, there was a very generous family in town, the Brooks family, who was willing to donate a large parcel of land for the express purpose of building a new elementary school. It was a very kind and thoughtful consideration. The team worked on it with their engineers. We had surveyors and wetland scientists out there. And very unfortunately, we found that the parcel was not buildable due to some wetland conditions primarily out there. It would have been very expensive and difficult to build a building of this size out on that piece of land. When that news was discovered, the community moved forward with a public land search, and it was our first of 3 formal requests for proposals that happened. The first one took place in the summer of 2010. At that point in time, there was only a single response that was put forward, someone out there willing to sell their parcel of land. It was in the Otter River area. It was not deemed appropriate nor enough to consider with all the land available in town. So shortly thereafter, a second RFP was put out there, and this time there were 6 different responses that were put forward, and they were evaluated, and there was 2 parcels of land that were put together and thought that they could be the site potentially of a new school. That was put forward to the town vote, the town meeting in the early part of 2011, and it was rejected by the citizens of Temple, thought that it was not the right place and the right cost for a school to go on that site. So with that in mind, the leaders of the town worked with Senator Brewer's office to look at other parcels of land. There was a parcel on Route 202 known as Crow Hill, a very significant sized piece of land. It's got a lot of hillside to it, but that was approved by the legislature at the Commonwealth of Massachusetts to be transferred to Templeton for the purpose of building an elementary school if you decided to go forward with that. So with that in mind, we had SMMA, the design team, look at that parcel of land, evaluate the conditions, what it would take to really do roadway modifications, to build a school up there, and to make it all work. And ultimately, it was found that the costs were too excessive to build up there. It was an extra $5 to $10 million to develop that site, and virtually all of that money would have been non-reimbursable. So with that thought in mind, the leaders of both Templeton and the MSBA felt that that was not the appropriate location for a school parcel. So then we went out a third time with a public request for proposal, searching once again for land to see if over these ensuing years, perhaps other folks in town were willing to sell their property that might be more suitable than we found in the prior 2 land searches, or the ones that had been offered either publicly or privately as donation. 2 more parcels of land were submitted upon during this final go-round. Unfortunately, neither of which were found to be suitable again for the purposes of building a school for price considerations or what it would cost to develop them. So with that thought in mind, we worked with the MSBA again to evaluate the Templeton Center school site and found that to be an appropriate location for it. And in the summer of 2015, the design team was able to collect enough information to work with the building committee, to work with the town folks, and to work with the state to confirm for us that that would be a suitable site for the development of a future elementary school.
John, I want to thank you very much for that information. I do want to say that the building committee and the town has done searches for the land, and it found that the only place that we could go at this point is Templeton Center, that has been approved by School Building Authority. We've also put together a fact sheet, which we would gladly send out to you. If you would like to have one, if you haven't had it, you can call our office, 978-939-5661, 978-939-5661, and we'll gladly mail one of these pamphlets to you. Also, you can go to our website, nrsd.org. I'll repeat it again, nrsd.org. When you get on the website, on the left-hand side, you'll see there's a spot that says New School. You can hit that, and you'll get more information about the school.